The believers, weary from their journey, finally reached a plateau high in the mountains. It was a desolate place, yet as they set foot on the rocky terrain, they felt a peculiar sense of peace. Elam led the group to a sheltered cave, instructing them to rest, but even as they settled in, Emma couldn't shake the feeling that they were being guided here for a purpose beyond mere survival. That night, as the camp lay asleep, Emma had a vivid dream. In it, she saw a blazing light coming from the heavens. The light formed a narrow path leading to a massive scroll buried within the heart of the mountain. She heard a voice, powerful and full of authority, saying, "Blessed are they who endure, for in this place, the seal of the prophecy shall be broken, and the faithful shall be prepared for what is to come." She awoke with a start, feeling the weight of the dream upon her heart. When she shared it with Elam, he nodded gravely. "The time is near," he said. "The prophecy you speak of is ancient, foretold by the prophets of old. We must seek out this scroll, for it holds the key to enduring the tribulation." Elam gathered a small group to search for the hidden scroll. They trekked deeper into the mountains, following the narrow path Emma had seen in her vision. Along the way, they encountered signs from scripture etched into the stones. "He that endures to the end shall be saved." Matthew 24:13. And, "For then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world." Matthew 24:21. It was as though the scriptures themselves were guiding them. After days of searching, they found a secluded cave hidden behind a cascading waterfall. Within its depths lay an ancient altar, and upon it rested the scroll, sealed with 7 wax seals. Elam took it carefully into his hands, and as he touched it, the seals began to glow, one by one. Elam opened the scroll and broke the first seal. As he did, the ground trembled, and a voice like thunder echoed through the cave. "Come and see." The air thickened, and a vision appeared before them. They saw a rider on a white horse, holding a bow and wearing a crown, and he went forth conquering, and to conquer. Revelation 6:2. The vision revealed that in the coming days, there would be a false peace, one that would deceive many and lead them astray. Elam turned to the group, his voice steady. "This is only the beginning. The seals must be opened, and the faithful prepared for the trials ahead. But remember, our victory does not lie in escaping suffering, but in standing firm, even unto death." As they returned to the camp, they found that Mama Adwo's garden had spread across the rocky plateau, bearing fruit in abundance. It was a miracle, for nothing had ever grown in that barren place before. Elam recognized it as a sign of God's provision, just as the manna had been for the Israelites in the wilderness. Exodus 16:15. The believers took heart, knowing that the Lord was with them. But with the garden's miraculous growth came a new challenge. Word of the garden reached nearby villages, and soon, people began to arrive, some seeking help, others driven by greed. The believers welcomed those in need, but tensions arose as the newcomers brought stories of betrayal, violence, and the rise of a sinister figure, known as the one who commands the beasts. Rumors spread about a leader who claimed divine authority and performed great signs and wonders. He was said to have the power to call down fire from heaven and to control the human-machine hybrids, whom he called his beasts. Those who followed him received a mark on their foreheads or right hands, without which they could neither buy nor sell. Revelation 13:16-17. Elam warned the camp, "Beware of the signs and wonders performed in darkness, for many false prophets will arise and deceive many." Matthew 24:24. He reminded them that scripture foretold of this beast, who would seek to mimic the power of Christ and deceive even the elect if possible. As the days passed, the believers faced increasing pressure to take the mark. Schools refused to admit children without it, and even basic necessities like food and medicine were denied. Some among the camp were tempted, and a few slipped away in the night to join those who had submitted to the beast's authority. Families were torn apart, and the underground sanctuary that once felt like a refuge now felt like a prison. Emma's faith was tested like never before as she saw her childhood friends take the mark to return to school, while she struggled with her studies in secret. She often prayed for strength, repeating the words of Paul, "We are troubled on every side, yet not distressed. We are perplexed, but not in despair." 2 Corinthians 4:8. One night, a group of armed men approached the garden, demanding that the believers hand over their supplies or face severe punishment. Elam stood before them and spoke with the authority of a prophet, "You come to take what is not yours. But this provision comes from the Almighty, and he shall not let it be stolen. Turn back, or face his wrath." As he spoke, a bolt of lightning split the sky, striking a nearby tree, and sending the men fleeing in terror. Returning to the cave, Elam broke the second seal, and another vision appeared, a rider on a red horse, with power to take peace from the earth, so that men would slay one another, and there was given unto him a great sword. Revelation 6:4. The vision faded, but its message was clear. Violence and war were coming, and they would soon reach the believers. The camp braced itself for the inevitable conflicts, preparing to defend not only their lives but their faith. Elam reminded them that though we walk in the flesh, we do not war after the flesh. For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through God to the pulling down of strongholds. 2 Corinthians 10:3. The camp had grown to include believers from many tribes and nations, as word of the miraculous garden and the opening of the seals spread. One evening, as the group gathered for prayer, a strange light appeared at the mountain's edge. It was not the cold, mechanical glow of the human-machine hybrids, but a warm, radiant light that filled the night with peace. As they approached, they found an old well, long dried up, now overflowing with fresh water. It was as if God had opened a fountain in the wilderness, just as he had done for Hagar and Ishmael in the desert. Genesis 21:19. The believers knelt and drank deeply, feeling their spirits lifted as they praised God for his continued provision. As the believers gather at the newly discovered well, a stranger arrives at the camp, bearing a peculiar message and an ancient artifact. Elam senses that the breaking of the third seal will bring challenges beyond what they have faced before. The stranger speaks of famine, scarcity, and a hidden secret that lies within the scroll, a secret that could change the fate of humanity during the tribulation. Will the believers find the strength to endure, or will the trials of the third rider break their resolve? The prophecy unfolds, but the true test of faith has only just begun.